Welcome back to another video on the channel for another player interview. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Emily Arbuthnott. Emily, how are you?
I'm really well, thank you.
Perfect. So first off, just what are your sort of first memories of playing tennis, and did you have any early inspirations that you sort of inspired to be like?
So I started playing tennis when I was about 6 or 7 years old. Both my parents had played just sort of locally at like the local club, and they just really wanted everyone in my family to sort of to know how to play tennis because it's a great sport for life. You can play even when you're older. It's a great social sport. So that's where it really started from. There was no sort of aspiration at that point for me to play seriously. And then, yeah, I just kind of went from there. I got kind of picked up by a few coaches who thought that maybe I had the potential to do quite well. And then I started training more from that point on. And there were definitely, there were like bumps in the road. Like it wasn't always smooth sailing, but I've carried on playing since then. I really enjoy it. In terms of inspiration, I'm a big Federer fan, but who isn't really? And in the women's game, I really like watching Simona Halep. I'm not the tallest tennis player. So I get a lot of inspiration from other players who aren't quite as tall and strong and use their athleticism because that's something that I also try to do.
Yeah, a big fan of Halep. I think what she lacks in sort of size and power, she makes up in heart and defense really. But so you moved to Stanford, USA in 2016. You had a very successful few years in America. Just sort of how did that move come about, and how do you reflect on it now looking back?
Yeah, I think it was definitely something that was sort of on my radar when I was doing sort of my GCSEs, and a lot of players were talking about going to university in the US. I wasn't actually that keen on the idea when I was younger. I didn't think that I really want to live in another country. But as I kind of got older, I realized if I wanted to keep my test level up, that was probably going to be the most sensible option for me. And I started to look into how the programs worked over there and how you were able to keep up such a good balance of academics and tennis. And that sort of then I changed my mind and I decided that's something I wanted to do. So I tried to get in contact with several universities that I was interested in from a tennis and an academic perspective. And obviously, Stanford has got a really, really, really strong tennis history and has really, really strong academics as well. So that was always the top of my list. So I was really grateful that I was able to get a place there.
What do you sort of think the biggest benefits were from your move to the US? Because I've spoken to a lot of players in the college tennis and they all spoke about the team environment and sort of being around, lots of different players and being part of a team puts that extra pressure on you to improve your game. Is that something you felt as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think a couple of things that really sort of stand out in the American system that make it great. And the first one is just the flexibility you have with classes and the fact that the sport is taken really seriously by universities. And so you're able to have a full training schedule. You're not sort of forced to play just like a few hours, like really early in the morning, really late at night. You don't feel, I've never felt there that I've been compromised on my social life or my academic life from playing tennis. So that's definitely one thing that's been really, really great. And then to speak to what the others have said, I think the team environment for me, that's been really, really influential in keeping me, not that I didn't, like I always enjoyed tennis and I always enjoyed playing, but I think I've realized I prefer the training there because you are with this group of people all the time. And one thing that's really nice is everybody on the team is so invested in everyone else's success. So it's so nice to be practicing with a group of players when they are genuinely happy when you're getting better. And so kind of having that supportive environment around you all the time is something that's really great. And I've absolutely loved that. And then obviously having the sort of team element in the competitions as well is something that I really enjoy. I think a lot of tennis players really enjoy that side to it because tennis is so individual most of the time. And yeah, I think it makes it more enjoyable. And the traveling, you're traveling with other people. It's a lot nicer than doing it on your own. And so yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of benefits, and I'm really glad that I chose to spend 4 years doing that.
Yeah, there's a lot of junior players watch these interviews who are like yourself, were doing GCSEs at one time and contemplating to go to UK university or down the US college tennis route. And is it a route you would recommend now looking back?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And I think I think the tennis programs in the UK have got a lot stronger recently, and I definitely think that works better for a lot of people. So I don't think you have to go to the US. I think there's opportunities both ways, which is great. It's great that there's different options available for people. But I do think if you are, if you really enjoy your tennis and you want to keep playing, and you enjoy, and you also want to get a good education and do a degree, I think it's really, really the right way forward, whether you do it in the US or the UK. And I can only give positive feedback from my experiences. And it's also just so nice that we now have this really strong university tennis community. I've been lucky enough to go on a couple of trips with other British university tennis players, and those have been some of the most fun and brilliant trips that I've ever done. So I think there's definitely a sort of like community of university student tennis players as well, which is really nice. And when we see each other at other tournaments now, it's kind of nice to have those connections for life, really.
Yeah, so just moving on to your pro career, you won 4 ITF doubles titles in 2019, and I think you ranked around 300 in the WTA doubles rankings, which you must be very happy with when you consider you're still at a very early age of your career.
Yeah, so I've kind of made the decision that during the summers I would play a lot of tournaments to try and keep my ranking up, and that was kind of difficult at times because I want to be able to do other things while I'm back home. The summer's not that long, but I kind of made the decision that it made sense to try and get some points and try and like test my level out with the pro tournaments. So the 3 summers I've had in between my 4 years, I played tournaments for most of those weeks. And yeah, I've had, obviously it's difficult when you're sort of limited to such a small time frame and you don't have the full year to play like other players do. But I've definitely had some really good successes in the doubles. I think it was in 2017 I made, I can't remember exactly how many. I think I made 3 25k finals and I won 1 in doubles, which was really great. And I think that's also a testament to the amount of doubles practice that we do at college in the US, because that's such a big part of the team matches there. And so I've really seen my doubles level improve, and which has been sort of reflected in my results in pro doubles. So yeah, it wasn't like the most straightforward decision to try and do that. And like, I definitely don't think, you've been playing the whole year, you don't have to go and play out all summer if you don't want to. But that's just a decision that I made, and I'm happy that I did that. And I think it's sort of shown me that I do have the potential to potentially do quite well in the doubles, maybe the singles too, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's nice to kind of see where your level is at relative to the full-time pros.
So what is it you currently that you really enjoy about doubles tennis, and what do you think are the key things to a successful doubles partnership as well?
I'd say the things that I enjoy most about it, firstly, is the kind of there's a sort of tactical nature to it. I think, as I said, like I'm not like I'm not the tallest tennis player, so I kind of enjoy that doubles can be really tactical, and you're discussing with someone else. Okay, we're going to serve here, we're going to make this move, and you can kind of like plan things out a little bit more. I really enjoy that. I've always just enjoyed like being at the net, hitting volleys, hitting smashes, and tennis is such a baseline game now in singles that I don't really have the opportunity to move forwards as much as I'd like to in my singles game. So I also enjoy that about it. And again, it just kind of bringing it back to this team environment. Like I like having someone else on the court with me to be able to share with. And even when you're traveling, it's nice to have someone else with you there too. So I think those are the things that I've really enjoyed about doubles. And I still like playing singles too. I like to do both. But I think having spent it at college, and even before that, I was always interested in doubles. But at college, like working a lot on double specifics has really got me a lot more engaged with that. And hopefully I can have some strong doubles results, some more strong doubles results going forward.
So thinking towards the future, do you think you're going to prioritise a singles or doubles career, or are you just hoping to improve your ranking in both, really?
I'm definitely going to start out looking to improve my ranking in both. So my highest ranking in singles was from before when I went to university. And I definitely think I've become a better player since then. So I would quite like to see how much I can increase that very high by possible. So I definitely like to start out with both. But I would consider focusing just on doubles if I thought that was something that maybe I could be long term a bit more successful in. Obviously, everything's a bit unsure. We're a bit unsure of how everything's going to start getting up and running. But yeah, the plan for now would be definitely to try and play both.
Yeah, so moving on to the Battle of the Brits event, which was played last week. I don't know if you were lucky enough to catch some of that. But I thought it looked as safe as it possibly can. It raised over £100,000 for NHS charities, and we got to see the likes of Andy and Paul, Joe, Brian Penniston, the different level of players. And do you think it's important that young players like yourself in Britain get more media exposure in the future from tournaments like that?
Yeah, definitely. I was able to watch some of the event, and I thought it was really well done. So testament to Jamie Murray and everyone who was involved in putting that together. I think that it's definitely, I think for British tennis in general, kind of having, if this could something that could even maybe be replicated on a yearly basis or something would be great. I remember even in the juniors when we played nationals, a lot of the top players wouldn't play the nationals competition, which I always thought was quite unfortunate. And so I think like promoting kind of like British tennis by having like a sort of big central tournament maybe would be a good idea going forward. But I think, yeah, I mean, obviously they did a great job raising a lot of money. And I think people, I mean, obviously there's not much live other sport going on right now, but I think the media reaction has been strong. And I think if we're looking at how we can build the game going forwards, like fan interaction, media interaction is a really big part of that. And tennis is a really widely played sport, but we don't see it on TV very much, I think. I mean, obviously Wimbledon is normally shown, and maybe Fed Cup, Davis Cup, but it's very difficult to kind of get a lot of tennis available on mainstream viewing platforms. So yeah, I'm really happy with the fact that I've got the opportunity to play at the female version of the Progress Tour coming up soon. And yeah, if the powers that be can find a way to host some more British tennis events that have media, I think that would be something that's really, really, really great and something to look forward to, hopefully.
Yeah, I took a note of Ryan Penniston and Paul Jubb's Instagram and Twitter followers before the week, and then looked after, and there was more. And a lot of people saying during the week how they'd never seen them both play before and how good they were, and they're going to follow their careers. And I think that's exactly the thing that it shows you the benefits that UK tournaments do have. And I agree in that I'd like to see them replicate in the future. It's obviously very difficult when, if it's a normal year, you've obviously got Wimbledon and players are restricted to travelling now, so they can't play any of the tournaments than what they're being offered. But I think the more people that we can get interested in British tennis, and the more people that attend UK events, then British tennis will improve as a whole eventually. So
to
just maybe
add to that.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, kind of increasing awareness of those players, sort of like Ryan and Paul, who are like up and coming, and for them to get that exposure, I think will be really, really useful. I know that, as someone who's played a lot of pro tournaments, like funding can definitely be an issue and things like that. And so, if we can kind of raise awareness of these players who are, starting their careers, like have a lot of potential, that could be potentially beneficial for them to maybe attract some sponsors and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of things that I think LTA has been doing a decent job recently, but there's definitely a lot of things that I think would make a big difference. And yeah, I honestly think from my experience in the US, I personally think that the team-based stuff we have there is pretty good at attracting crowds and stuff. And I think there's definitely potential to sort of build a stronger fan base around, whether it's like club-based matches or sort of like a bit of a sort of better level like club circuit. And I think that's something that can maybe work well as well. Yeah,
the aim of my interviews, really, my blog, is just to give young British players like yourself more exposure really in the media, because I don't feel you'll often get the chance to sort of tell your story and inform people how you're doing in your career. But if these videos can attract new fans to British tennis, then the aim's sort of being completed. But just moving on to sort of the Progress Tour, where you're competing in the doubles with Anna Popescu, and you must be really excited to get back competing on court.
Yeah, so I've actually also got into the singles now as well, which is but yeah, it's exciting. I've obviously, when I was still in the US during the first part of lockdown, so I wasn't able to play for about 3 months there. And then since I've been back, I've been in quarantine. So I have not had the opportunity to play very much. So I think it's great that these tournaments are being put on and allowing the players to get onto the match court. And I think this event sounds like it's going to be a really great way to showcase some of the talent within British tennis. and I'm very fortunate and lucky to be a part of that. So yeah, looking forward to the singles and the doubles. Anna and I haven't actually played together since we played together in some Hearts team tennis events before I went to university. So it will be good to kind of play with her again, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully it will be a really great event.
Yeah, I think the lineup's really good in the sense you've got your likes of Katie Bolton, Harriet Dart, and Heather Watson, who will probably attract that mainstream British sport fan. But then you've got the likes of you and Eden Silver and Emma Raducanu, who a lot of people probably don't know, but are young talented players that perhaps don't get as much media exposure as the top players. But yeah, you're looking forward to sort of testing yourself again against the likes of doubles players like Naomi Brody and Sarah Beth Gray and Eden Silva. You must be excited to play against them sort of players as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's great that the tournament has attracted a lot of the top British players. I think it's great that they're supporting it and they're playing, and so it's going to be definitely a very high level competition. Yeah, it will be nice for me as well. I mean, I've played Beth. I've played against a couple of times. Eden as well. But some of the top players Naomi I've never played against. So it will be fun. I think it'll be a really fun event. I'm excited to get back out there and test my level. And obviously, I think everyone's most people haven't been playing that much recently. So I'm sure some of us will be a bit rusty, but I think it will be really a great way for us all to come together and hopefully have some high quality tennis.
Yeah, I'm going to try and cover the progress to an event that you're playing as much as possible. So I might try and grab you for an interview during or post tournament, depending how it goes. But just a sort of final question: what is your dream achievement in tennis?
Oh, that's a good question. So I was lucky enough to play in the junior Grand Slams, and I think that's such a great experience because you kind of get a little insight into what it's like for the really top pros. So I think. And obviously Wimbledon was really special. So I think if I had the opportunity at some point to play at Wimbledon, whether that's in singles, doubles, mixed doubles, whatever, I think that would definitely be a really key goal of mine. And then I think the second one would probably be Fed Cup. As I love competitions. I think I always play my best when I'm in that environment, and there's nothing better than representing your country. So that would probably be my other dream achievement, I think.
Perfect. Well, good luck for the progress to in both singles and doubles, and thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you very much.